I'm going to go ahead and get the stream started now. Okay, and we should be running. I'll go ahead and start again so that all can get that transmission. Wholeness and Balance Vibrations family. Wow, we've made it into the space. Here we are. It is the Secret Energy Worldwide Meditation Celebration. We went 23 days. That stopped yesterday on Saturday. A great place to end things in infinity. And we went through such a pleasant experience with ourselves and all of the beings that are here that are representations and reflections of us. We came in a time that Earth needed stability, the co-creations and the manifestations needed stability. And this is exactly what we brought into the space. And we sat down into the spiral. And we also told stories of our ancestors who are always with us. And sometimes, even when we think of just things that exist on a spiritual level, we have to know that all of those things have their physical correspondences. So when I say that our ancestors are with us, it's not that I'm just looking back to some older people with some face paint or maybe some animal furs or some feathers or whatever. I'm looking directly into my organs because when anyone passes from here, quote unquote, as we say, a rise in wholeness, they join the internal, they become a part of the internal. Like even now, when something comes into our mouths, technically it's already dead. But if it was dead, it wouldn't be able to give us energy. So on a micro level, life still exists in that particle is in that substance and is now making its transition. And then when it comes inside of us, it becomes a part of our organs because our organs take it in, they make muscles with it, they make tissues with it, and that's how it continues its consciousness. Nothing else different is going to happen in our existence here. And if we are in alignment with the highest truth of self, not only do we see this very clearly, we've also begun to do the work that is necessary to bring the organs and the ancestors in their optimal state. There is always a collective frequency and a vibration that holds everything in the spectrum. So it is not left completely up to you to bring everything into alignment. That is your personal mission. In these external realities are, which are like simulations themselves, are all the tools and all the training modules, all the templates that are necessary for you to know about so that you can utilize them to build who you want to become. I trust that each person here, now that it is Sunday, that you woke up to a new day. Obviously, this is also the Easter today, and the deed has already been done. We chose, instead of allowing our energy to be used certain ways, to come into alignment with selves and to actually begin the process again of making a new journey, a deep journey internally to find everything. Also, during these times, I wanted to make note that I trust that everyone here went into some type of process of even breathing yesterday. How many here beyond the morning meditation went to research any breathing if you weren't really on point with that? It's so important. Roll with the winners. Like it could get so simple here, but common sense ain't common. Like if you look at that number one and you see that hydrogen and then you see that connection with the water, you know, when it comes to just flushing it out, cleaning it out, it's very direct. So the breath, the water, and work through those energies and powers. I know we always want to jump to the light right away. Look at the light. And it's interesting for beings to begin to start with, what they have first, and let's see how well they work on that. Because it's easy even to tell how, a person even holds themselves and where all their energy is. And, and it's just so beautiful to see how the breath and the water, they just fix all of that. And then you can begin to work with the light, because now you're seeing clearly within yourself. So today, again, is a celebration day. It is not the day for me to come in and to now give you Sunday's story, because you are Sunday's story. And this is a time, though, that I wanted to take the opportunity to hear from those that did have something to say to tribe and wanted to come forth and just express what the meditation has done for them in this time in a concise way. Let us know who you are and where you're from or where you're at. And what we'll do is also, we do this by using the hands up button or raised hand button in the panel, which if you're participating in the Zoom side of this meditation, which we've invited everyone to, then you will see that option in the base, and you can raise your hand, and then, that way we keep some type of orderly fashion to it. And beyond this, though, I did want to leave an announcement, because we'll definitely go through the experience of all of our brothers and sisters reflecting, and then we'll cruise right into Keymakers episode 3. Well, hopefully we have a little break between then, but we'll cruise into Keymakers episode 3, season 2, which is also a deeper introspection into the system of genealogy. And we've gone further, and instead of answering questions through just generalization of here's what you should do, we've gone into a deeper analysis with life paths, which are in this case, genealogy paths, which are very easy to calculate by the day that you were born on. And so we just get that information, and then what happens is we're able to answer the question through that channel. And so that way it's a lot more specific to see how each of us approach things different. And if we get a little bit confused, we should always lean on the core template that our brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties, uncles, anybody that's in the past, great greats, all of that, they've set a template in their lives. It's not sometimes even what they're saying, it's how things turned out for them. It's like, okay, that auntie, that uncle chose to do this. This is how things turned out for them. They did this. And so there's so much observation in the family structure, and to see how things are mixed together. The greatest part of life we've yet began to explore. Like, even if you could think, I saw this cicada last night and ran across, but this one was on something else. He had a mission, like he was headed towards the oranges for whatever reason. And I said, man, you probably could sit and study this being for, who knows, months on end, and come into all sorts of awareness about how the creation is put together, because that is a part of the creation, and that is here with us. And it is something that we, as personally, I'm not saying science and all the rest of the organized institutes or whatever, but we ourselves personally don't necessarily understand the relationship between why that is here and what its story is. And so that's why the entire cosmos has a story to tell when we're listening, for sure. And now this is an opportunity for us all to begin to have that play with self. And like all of this going on with this fallen house of cards, I would even yourself just pull out the Trump card yourself and say, what a joke. The whole thing, just a joke. Like, now the stock market's going up. It's the same people. Everybody's, oh, it's coming back. And it's just like, what a joke. And to think that this would be reality, it could only be a comedy. Some are having somewhat of a tragedy, but smile now, cry later. It's just the whole dramatic session of lesson learning and teaching. And I like technology as far as I like the idea that we can innovate and create things that take things to another level. That's what technology means to me. But it's interesting how it's just like even with what we've been given of technology, people are kind of trying too hard. Like even now technology kind of looks weird. It's like it's always wants to help you do something that you can really do better and naturally yourself. And when I see this now and I see this in these times, I just realize how much of an opening there is for us to come right in and to begin to create when we completely deprogram ourselves from these all these things that have been learned sometimes, like conflicts and limitations, talking negative to yourself. There's so much there that we have to deprogram first before it's really going to open up for us. And it's up to us to do that work. And now what we've been able to do is we've been able to concisely really get the connection together. The power of the knowledge to me is also very important. It becomes wisdom once you apply it. But the power of having the template, at least you have a map to start somewhere within yourself. Something simple enough, not at 5 million pages of something. We've even got this now in a recording where soon after we package it up again, you can go and listen to them now. Every single build well, there was in the beginning, I guess we were doing just direct silent meditation. Then we went into some guided meditation. And then we had some guided meditations also in between that assisted a lot in getting us on the right level of moving the energy. Then there came for sure, because, you got 22 days. So I'm not just going to sit there with y'all on 22 days and not, work to give as much as possible, even on the verbal side. So I wanted to come in. I wanted to even bring what would be accrued to semester 3. It's like that there goes semester 3 is, everyone got that and we got it in the time that we needed the most. And we got it about what we needed to know the most about. And then we got it done in 22, 23 days. But if you haven't had a chance to enjoy that material, which is really a opus and a corpus of yourself, like just a direct manual to here's how you flow, here's why it all flows together, here's the meaning of everything, this is why this is present. As you can see, this is why it should not be missing, even though we would want to get rid of some of these things, and how that just kind of messes up other stuff and it doesn't allow it to actually thrive and to grow and to experience. And so through that, again, we met our ancestors. We also met the hidden, which is the yin and the yang, the full and the new moons, and how that changes everything at times. And just how being under the influence is also a big part of the lesson, because it's one thing to remain balanced. It's another thing when something pushes you to see how balanced you can be, or to see how you maintain balance. I'll say that again. It's one thing to just maintain the balance yourself. If you've ever done that, well, we're doing it as we stand up, by the way. Humans are balancing all the time. But if you got the little rod or whatever that you're standing on, or a little slack line or whatever, and you're balancing yourself, that's already difficult. Now imagine somebody pushing you, right? And I've definitely seen exercise like that. I've even seen forms of combat like that, where the guys having to keep themselves balanced on a tottering ball while others are assailing them. That's just the next level of it, right? But truthfully, what we're saying is that this act of balancing that we're learning to achieve is the key component in us guiding these forces and these powers. So with that being said, there are a few that have their hands raised. We could go ahead and get into this. We'll probably run this for about 45 minutes, somewhere in there, for those, looking for some time frames. And that way we have enough opportunity to get into season 2, episode 3 of Keymakers, and everything goes smooth. So, yeah.
All right, I'll call on a couple people, then we can get it rolling. So the first person that I see is unidentified, just iPhone. So I'm gonna open up your mic for you. Go ahead. Hello.
I would switch it to letting them unmute themselves over their moderator also, just so They can be
Perfect.
on.
All right, I'm gonna call on Brandon. Brandon.
Okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Holding this. So basically, I want to say that this tribe is amazing. This tribe is very beautiful. It has amazing people in it. And through these meditations, I
You're muted.
Sean, could you or moderator, could you unmute his mic? There was a toggle. Brother, if you hold on one quick second. Okay, I got him. All right, Brandon, go ahead, brother.
cool. So these meditations have been very helpful with centering myself and really getting in tune with the energies, like in the present moment. It showed me the power that I have and that I'm never alone. Uh, it's like so much knowledge and application, like from the university to how this shit got like synchronized. Excuse my language. Um, it's funny as heck because like how I got into this. Um, I was reading, like you said, I had a spiritual book. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but someone came to tell me that I was basically worried about the tetragrammaton. Someone came to me and said, my father actually came to me and said that was the name of God. And literally 2 weeks later, you dropped that video saying origins tetragrammaton, and that shit was like, I was like, yo, this man just saved saved me from spiritual upheaval, and I just been rolling with it ever since. And it shows me, yo, just keep rolling with you, trust yourself. You feel me? That's all really I got to say. I love you, Tribe.
Thank you, brother. Give
Love
thanks.
you, brother Wholeness.
All right, we're gonna go with Catherine.
Wholeness Tribe. I'm so blessed to be here. This journey has been a long one for me. I discovered Savon and Secret Energy about 5 years ago. Being on and off and, tapping in and out, and also having a lot of external influences in front of me, but just feeling in my soul that there has to be a simpler way. This doesn't have to be so complicated. This meditation journey has been very emotional, very synchronized, very, I don't even have the words. I feel myself becoming the true balanced version of who I'm supposed to be. And I appreciate you, Tribe and Seven, for providing this information, providing this knowledge, and giving us all the tools that we need. So thank you, Wholeness.
Wholeness, sis, thank you. It's great to see you. Also, Tribe, I will let you know that it's always great to understand that how we cycle and how we move energy is just as a sister said. Thank you so much, Tribe. It's, I can say for sure, if sometimes you come into the room and one person's there, you're going to be like, okay, maybe this is not the meditation I need to be in. So with everyone here holding space and showing presence, that was a big thing. Like we intentionally said, well, how can, if we're going to do this meditation, how can we show everybody what even system, because a lot of systems it has all these different things it does, but it just doesn't let you show all of the vibrations and all the frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do know that also made many that came into this very comfortable with even making the decision to go in and even show themselves and be there meditating, because all these are very sensitive matters. Also, those who really work deep in the meditation have let go a lot of the ego. So even turning the camera on with a meditation may be somewhat of a challenge for them when they work with the energy. So I also want to just say that every time someone even gives thanks to me, and they're giving thanks to the entire tribe, because if it wasn't for this tribe, we would sometimes have this lack of foundation and understanding if this is the decisions that we actually need to be making in our lives. So I also want to say thanks, sister, that as we keep it going, like all we can look forward to doing is the greatness of our co-creations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Seven. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amen.
Beautiful, beautiful, sister. Give thanks. So next up is Mali Yasser. If you want to jump on, go ahead, brother. Oh, we can't hear you.
Let's try. Can you hear me now?
There we go. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me start my video back. Sorry. Anyway, first and foremost, I just want to say, oh, get out of here. Holiness Tribe, how you guys doing? I'm calling from Oakland, California. Just want to send love and light to everybody. Just want to say first and foremost, man, I love you guys. Thank you, Seven. Thank you, Sean, for getting back to me quickly. I want to say that these meditations have been, anyone who knows me know that it's hard for me to be at a loss for words. And those who see this on the other side, they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. They're cracking up right now. So I'm just going to end this really quickly, or begin this with a couple of words, because I do write a bit. And what I got from this is you have to bring your dreams to life. Then you have to put those same dreams to death. And you ask the question, what is it that you have left? Breath. Holiness, Tribe.
That's
Oh,
awesome, brother.
see you in there in the blue space. I'm loving it.
Hey, Stephanie. Oh my goodness, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Man, brother, it goes without words. Brother, I didn't, in terms of getting light, I didn't drop to 127 pounds. My alchemical cabinet is jumping. Oh my goodness. I'm studying. I feel like I'm speaking to, you know, so on a whole nother echelon, brother. I love you, appreciate you, and Holiness Tribe.
No doubt, brother. Thank you so much for the vibes and the energy too. Like we feel you. I know sometimes, because you probably have all the words, like you said, it all works out there right now. It starts. It's like the words are not there, but the essence. So the essence can be. And so I feel your essence, brother. Wholeness.
Holiness, brother.
No doubt, man. It's so great to see you in the space, my guy.
Love you guys.
All right, now, wholeness. Next up is Bali Dali.
Oh, sweet. Hey,
Welcome.
wholeness. My name is Robbie, and I am calling from the Dalles, Oregon. And I started listening to you, Sevan, probably 5 years ago, when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And I realized in that medical diagnosis how much power that I had to not be something that somebody was telling me, but to be what I am. And I've just really appreciated all of the information about what I should be putting in my mouth, as well as what should be coming out of my mouth. And as a musician and an artist, it's really just helped me kind of tune in to the frequency that I am. And I'm playing an instrument today and have been in this meditation that is 432 hertz of a healing sound that heals my body as I play it. And I've been empowered becoming an ambassador to look at how I am going to use my gifts and abilities for another 40 years of singing and performing and sharing my stories and songs and celebrating all the nouns in life. And I wanted to thank you very much, Sevan. I've told so many people about you who just get so blown away by whatever link that I share with them. And I remind them that don't be blown away, just kind of listen and allow yourself to be yourself. And when in doubt, you can always find the right vibration that is you. tribe.
Wow.
Wholeness, sister. I know the person coming after that is gonna have a hard time. I did. I love your lap harp also, sister. I actually have a Mona Lena, and that's like such a beautiful instrument. Like, we give thanks also for all the yes, that's the one right there. We're gonna have to play it sometime. I gotta figure out some better audio than Zoom though, because it has this thing, but absolutely. Thank you for bringing your instrument, and also thank you for bringing your joy, wholeness.
Thank you for helping me so much. Thank you, Sevan.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sister, for the powerful transmission. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go with Sky. Come on, Sky.
Wholeness tribe, wholeness family. I'm from Toronto, Canada. Been surfing with Savan from like 2018. And one of the things I can say that I've gotten from this meditation, this is the most beautiful analogy I received, was that when I started just meditating and breathing, coming from the teachings of Savan, realized that the heart is at the center, and it's like the world, the mini world. So when I'm breathing, like that's the sky that's happening, that's centering around my whole entire being, my heart, my center, my whole. And the heart, which is the earth, is like the roots within my whole entire veins, which is within my whole entire system. And the light, the sun, is everyone right here reflecting. It's like the stars in the sky, you know, that's the reason why it's sky, because like you're light and I'm light, that means that we're stars. And if we're stars, and like we're shining in the universe, and if we're shining in the universe, we're creating a constellation of love. And this is a vibration I receive. So anytime when I'm breathing, it's almost like I'm breathing to my mini earth, and that my body, I want to take care of it because this is my mini solar system. And so this has been like something I'm just now receiving, and I'm allowing this newness and energy to continue to flow within me, around me, through me, and even through everyone and everything. And I hope to give more to the world as I'm growing. And SKY actually stands for Supreme Knowledge Yourself. So that's really what I'm on right now, is just supreme knowledge myself, because the world, the whole universe has done it for us, and now we're doing it for each other because we are a part of one and one tribe. So thank you, wholeness, vibrations, wholeness, balance, and vibrations to you all, family. Love you all.
Thank you, brother. Great to see you. Wholeness.
Thank you, Sky. Appreciate you, brother. All right, let's go with Ashley. Wholeness, sister. So great to see you. Welcome, sister.
Hello, wholeness. Wholeness. My name is Ashley
Wholeness.
Chang. I'm from Jamaica, and I've spent most of my life living here. My uniqueness is I bring joy and gentleness into spaces with a certain grace and artistic flair. I'm a student of life, a researcher by discipline. I started with Sevan when I read The Code to the Matrix, which was recommended by a friend, and it has brought so much clarity into my life. I am infinitely grateful for this meditation over the past few weeks. It has been a focal point for me, helping me to stay stable in this reality, and just bringing so much clarity. And just it's synchronized with everything that I was already going through. I went through a major transformation between November coming into 2020. And I just want to say thank you, Savan. Thank you, tribe. I'm grateful to be here with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Wholeness. Definitely feeling the vibrations and feeling the positivity, and also the transformation that's been happening for everyone. They say the proof of the wisdom is within the people that it produces. And we're just really watching and seeing for ourselves just how dynamic what we've all been sharing together, and what we've been really saying, this is the true north for us, just what it's been doing. And so we give thanks for that.
All right, let's go with Lawrence Brown. Wholeness,
Hey,
brother.
greetings, guys. Greetings, everyone. Coincidence, I'm also from Jamaica. but I moved to Helsinki, Finland a while back. Funny story about that, but that's super long. Um, I just want to express my joy and thanks for everyone here. I'm a little bit of a late starter. I first came into Sevan's work a while back when I watched this video on YouTube about understanding of the archons. It's my first time listening to it, and I just cataloged it in my consciousness. Then dive deep in my own spiritual awakening, lots of stuff, Kundalini, astral travel, a lot of weird stuff. And now it came back to this point where I needed something to center myself. And I remembered his work. And I just joined the meditations around, I think, at day 4 or something. And at that point, it was when the whole world was tripping out about these 3 days of darkness. And unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I was one. I was believing what was there. And in that meditation, synchronistically, he was talking about source. And then I was looking at it and just thinking about it, and it just resonated with me. And then I dived deep into what my source is. And from then, I just felt whole. So it's like a supreme guidance that was given to me at the right time. So I'm just happy for this space. I'm happy for everyone. I'm just happy to be alive and just, thanking everyone for their contribution to life. That's all I wish to say. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Also, I wanted to say, man, I'm so glad that this message was able to get to you and make sure that you're sending out them vibrations, man, because you got that smile. Like I got this smile. They used to call me cheese when I was younger. And it's like, it's hard to kind of take it off. And the world without that, I think would be a very sad place. So, and I just want everyone to know that the conscious community is such a powerful force. And that's why there's always something going on in it to just keep it, to where it's not necessarily aligning itself properly at times. But everything works in the favor of what we're going to be, what we've been doing and what we've been co-creating. But it's just important to know that because our power is so much, if we're not smiling and if we're not feeling well, that's actually the weight of at least 100, 200 people who are not necessarily activated. And I just want to make that very clear that we all have this responsibility, especially since we've learned so much about our power and the forces that we carry, and we're using a lot more of our consciousness. Don't let that consciousness actually be used to become this huge dark cloud over everything. And we do that a lot by deciding how we're going to feel for that moment. And, there's stories of even folks being marched off to their demise, but singing and dancing, saying that I guess this is how it is, glorious. Nobody's going to take it away from me so long, and really even kick up a paranormal event before departure and got everybody feeling like, man, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And it's just like that let that light keep shining within us all, and let us all also be mindful attending that light, right? Since this is a co-creative light, it's always good to work with building it and increasing it. If you feel yourself in a certain space, you're like, you know what, I feel great today. Come into the meditation on your own and actually send in and receive energy from this co-creation, because that's what it's here for. It's like a garden itself that we can tend. So I want to say, give thanks for just taking the vibration into another stage and allowing it to transmute. Because also, here's the other thing, and this was already brought up in this build that we just had. Now, don't expect at times to not have to deal with not being happy about something. That's all a natural part of this existence is, hey, I don't feel well right now, and that's okay, because that also means that you're going to transition into feeling a lot better. You just have to watch if you're consistently keeping the distortions going on, that's not balancing out. That's what you're really looking at to make sure that you're balancing out. So that's what it is, brother. Thanks so much. Wholeness.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. All right, Sister Seklinda.
Yeah, I also want to ask before Sister comes in, for those that do have your mics, if you could mute your mics, because every time you do say something, it kind of interrupts the picture. and just doesn't allow us to hear what the person is saying completely. So thank you so much. If you can keep your line muted, Wholeness.
All right, go ahead, sister. Wholeness.
Wholeness Tribe. I just want to say thank you so much, Savon, for just saying that about tending to our light. The meditations have served me through a very transitional period of my life. I just went through a process where I sold all my possessions, moved out of my house, bought an RV, and traveled back to source through tribe, visiting another tribe member on their land, and they're in the country, and trying to tap back into source. But through those travels, it's been a journey, and it's taken a little bit out of me, and I'm trying to kind of reboot now. But it was through tribe and through the ambassador training that I kept receiving inspiration that I was doing the right thing, that at least for me, that the things that society tells us are important are not really the things that are important in life, and trying to stay balanced through the things that all of us kind of go through in life, being a mother, being a daughter, being an employee, being a friend. And so I just want to say thank you for all the beautiful faces here. Seven, for the message that you give to us, for the knowledge that you give to us, and for just all the members here that have kind of helped gas me up and juice me up to get to this point. And now I'm just trying to regroup here, and I'm thankful. The meditation actually started like I said, in the middle of me selling my things, and I've gone through the journey. It took me about a week to get up here, and I'm here now, and I can't wait to see what more transpires with this group. It's a beautiful family, and I thank you all. Thank
you, sister. Wow. I'll definitely take a moment to, just, for us all to take a breath and just, give thanks as we go through this transition. As we said, this spectrum and this mission is deep, and it brings the best out of us, which also unearths, so much of the depth of what we've missed. And wow, I like what you said when you were saying, just employee, mother, daughter, like son. We get all these titles and responsibilities, even just being, and each of those require at times that we're the most proficient, and all we can do is just be the best that we can, and learn along the way. And it's just so interesting, again, that life, like the moment you come in, you have all these responsibilities, to be honest. And the older you get more and more titles and responsibilities. And since that's going to happen, it's great when we're all together and guiding each other to the best way to actually handle the life and the experience that we're going through. We have enough just to go through the unique parts of what we create, let alone, kind of stumbling on the parts in the path that have already been laid for us. So it's really good to have such a sound level of awareness and connection, not only with each other, but also with the knowledge that we're sharing and the wisdom that we're gathering with each other. So I wanted to say thank you so much. I'll definitely see you in ambassador training as we keep going forward and keep doing things into that space. Wholeness.
Thank you, sister. Appreciate it. All right, next up is Yolanda Howard.
Hi, Wholeness Tribe. This morning I'm so happy to be here with you and to be sharing this space. Is very special to me. This is my son saying hello this morning to you all. I found the resistance I'd say about 3 years ago when I was studying, because I needed that inspiration to continue with my studies. I was studying psychology, which I thought would provide a lot of answers that I had at the time. But it didn't take very long for me to realize that answers did not lie in what I was gaining, the knowledge I was gaining. And so in order for me to progress through that endeavor that I had undertaken, I would, just browsing it a bit, and I found a video. It was 3 hours, quite a challenge. But it took me 3 weeks to open that video. But at the end of it, I kept looking for all the others after that until eventually I read the Code to the Matrix. It was very expansive, I must say that. And I need to go read it again because I know I haven't unlocked all that it contains within. So I'm going to be going to do that. But I'd say within the past year, like the sister said just now, I learned to work more on myself because until then I'd been focused on being all that I can be for others. And so over the course of the last year, I have followed a lot of the knowledge that I received in reading those transmissions. And it has helped me a lot. I've grown a lot. And as a mother, I want to share this information with my children. I would like to help them to find a path that is more fulfilling for them on their life. And so in trying to be able to make them become more aware and more interested, I found the resources that you provide. The Secret Energy Family has been very helpful in helping me to break information that can be so overwhelming. And it's so against the grain of what is taught in the world today. So I have received a lot of help with that. And I'm so very thankful for those reflections of myself that I see when I come online and I see the conversations. It's been a whole lot of I'm very thankful to that. And to you, Stefan, you've made this so very simple. Sometimes I think that I'm listening to myself and I'm hearing you speak, and that makes it very special because while I've always been interested in spirituality, I've also been very hesitant to open myself up to lots of messengers that they have out there because this is a very powerful energy that we're working with. So I wanted to be sure that this is somebody who's authentic, and I definitely can sense that in you and in the structure that you've created around it. I can see integrity, and that's very meaningful to me. And so of course I'll continue to grow and move forward with the tribe. When it comes to the meditations, I'd like to say that it's brought consistency to my life because despite the fact that I'm learning to work more on myself, it's still kind of challenging to make that time for yourself every morning. And so it has brought me a discipline that I needed, and I can see definitely that is something that I'm going to continue with greater consistency. So thank you for that. Thank you for each and every person here in this space and for allowing me the opportunity here to share with the tribe. I like to say wholeness to you. And as we continue to go through this year, I know that there is that silver lining that's always there. And I'm looking forward for us all reaching on the other side through this, more empowered. So thank you. Thanks to you and to the tribe and for all of those who are here, keeping things constant when we move out of balance and helping us to get back.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yolanda. Also to the sons over there, big man wholeness. Kids are such a beautiful thing. And even to raise boys, I know that you have to have a certain level of strength and awareness. So I'm really, really glad that we were able to come together, especially during this time in life and existence. I look forward to more of the adaptations of even taking this knowledge and this wisdom that we're gaining and repurposing it for our children, because that is so important. And we've kind of been in this crawling before walking part of our mission, even like what we have to start first and to give us the foundation to get to what comes next. And that becomes the growth process for all of us. And I also wanted to just give thanks also to everyone from all around the world also for bringing in the energy. Like we have to understand that, when we come into these spaces and we start taking these breaths, it actually assists everybody in our environment, in our mind, in our consciousness that we're connected to through our DNA. And I can say myself that, especially when like my whole idea of becoming an entrepreneur years ago was to never have to get up early in the morning again. And I don't know what happened to that. It was funny because I was like literally sold on this idea when I was in my teens. They're like, when I hit my early 20s, I was like, I'm gonna become an entrepreneur. It's like, get up when I want to, make my own schedule. That's how they sold it. Then I have my own business. I get up like earlier than ever, and I never go to sleep, and I got way more stuff to do. And I was like, whoa, how did that work? And it's interesting though, because when that pairs with a spiritual life, sometimes when we get deep into our spiritual growth, we do lose a bit of discipline. It's funny because some kind of see everything like Shaolin monk, and that's really not what happens most of the time in the spiritual growth process. It's like, you learn to relax and you learn how to get into your own self. And a big part of that, though, of course, is the discipline, like your yogas, your meditation. So even for me, it was very dynamic. Actually, mine started more with just going out every morning, no matter what, at a specific time to that spot in nature, which I'm still doing. And I hope all those that have been able to listen to that message also are still doing that by going in and just, being with nature and being with her and establishing that relationship. But that repetitious pattern has also been reinforced by these meditations that have gone on for the last 23 days and just getting up and being in this space. And I guess I need to mention that yesterday was our final meditation. And we're always up to something. We're always doing something. Like even now we're rolling into the key makers, and we even have a full roster next week. And also we have some surprises also that we're still waiting to unveil. We have about 3 more weeks in relation to when we're going to be able to do that, but something's always happening here. But we also know that, we're ever flowing, we're ever changing, we're always moving through things. And so we wanted to set this pillar for us all, this space in this 23-day period that we've been in. And then now coming into Easter and having our own version of the celebration, and just really, really respecting the energy and the force that we all carry by doing this. And so thank you so much for participating and bringing, all the energy and the essence that you have into the co-creation, Sister Wholeness.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. All right, next we have Jesus Amez. Your line is open, family.
Okay, thanks, Wholeness. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Yes,
Thank
okay,
you.
thank you. And hi, Sevan, hi, tribe. I'm from Mexico. I'm calling from Tijuana. Tijuana, the border with San Diego. And I come from a very Mexican traditional family, but I've been exploring technology since I know, like I've grown with computers and stuff and understanding operative systems and that stuff. And I've come to your information, Sevan, through I don't know through who or through what, just through I guess my recommendations on YouTube or something. And I read the Code to the Matrix, and it was like mind blowing at first because I wasn't experienced with all the metaphysical stuff, even though I had it intuitively and by my family being taught about all that through Catholicism at first. But I kind of never participated fully, but I understood what it was about, no, like living and taking care of you and the others and stuff. And then I came to your knowledge, to your information, and I caught the part of Toltec teachings and Toltec practices. And then I went through some books of that, some books of all of I could find about it, no, like about dreaming, about meditation, about I don't know, everything I could like consume of information. And through that, my personal life was like kind of messy. I was living in Mexico City, and I had these bad relationships, and like everything was like upside down. But internally, I was just kind of exploring other information. I kind of didn't give the importance that to my personal relationships or to my personal life, finances and stuff. I was like up and down, up and down, up and down. And so I came back to my hometown and started like a 2-year, I would say, regeneration. No? Like I left everything there in Mexico City. I had like running like I'm a musician, so I was just playing there with bands and stuff. And I came back So started reconnecting through meditations. I've been watching your meditations, the key makers, and this is the first time I have to share with you directly and the tribe directly too. But I've been watching. I mean, I've been observing. I've been seeing what's going on, like from a lot of perspectives, including myself. But I don't consider myself as a just the only perspective. So I try always to be observing every perspective to kind of have a 360 like image in my mind of what could be really going on, but I don't know. No, like I still don't know. And I wanted to thank you and thank the whole tribe so much for what you've all done, and the information that you keep sharing. And I would like to participate also, like because I haven't had the money to enter to the $79. I speak very much English. I don't remember how it's called, but the monthly $79 where you get together and stuff. But I feel also like if somebody, I don't know, I feel ready to participate. That's what I mean. So I'm here for y'all and for the growth of awareness. That's what we all doing.
Absolutely, brother. First of all, wholeness to our Mexican brothers and sisters. You, we wouldn't be able to do anything on the planet if if we weren't all in the house and holding the space. It's also great to see you, and to hear about the transitional process. Like, you're kind of in my stomping grounds because I was on the other side of the border right there on San Diego, as you know. And I would cross over into Tijuana every now and then, even as a youngster, and just seeing everything, And I also wanted to say, just to everybody that is connecting with us in this space, especially, we have Ambassador Train. Like, to be honest, also what's been happening is that, all of the things that we've done, it still has to be maintained. It has to be managed. And I also have this, I have this aesthetic. It's just the four kind of thing. And it's just making sure that everything is at least at the level of where it should be professionally. That way it's not like the underdog or seen as anything like that. And I want to let everybody know that while we launched Ambassador Training, and it's been really for us a big learning lesson, like how to create something. Even when I told somebody that we had a group that had over 200 people in it, and he was like, how do you even do anything like that anyway? Because generally it just becomes chaotic, especially if it's anything beyond a monologue where one person is talking to everyone else and you're getting homework and you're never really connecting. But when everyone connects, it can sometimes be in certain organizations overwhelming, where they couldn't figure out how to do that. Ambassador Training was where we experimented with exactly how to do that, and how not to allow another person's light to shroud out the awareness of another one, and also how to actually allow everyone to work together on any. So we have more solutions than problems inside of the tribe. And our next phase, which we've been also working on and seeing what are our commonalities, what are the systems that we're going to be using with everyone, which is why we realize we need eniology. Our next phase is to actually begin to come in with specialists. And as you know, there is specialist training. For those that are on the line that don't know, that specialist training is available for free on the site. And it does give you access to where we began to dial in this energy about Sovereignty 2020. It also gives you access to the projector, which we felt is a key metaphysical tool of being able to put your intentions into something in the space that can hold that resonance and keep that resonance in your space. And we gave these things. And then also, of course, there's the affiliation, where we basically say, hey, you can represent everything here on the site and you get commissions for it. And there's a way to do that without even like sending in links to products specifically. So we keep innovating and creating more ways to also manage what we're doing as far as this structure. But we have another session coming and very soon. And that's when our ambassadors begin to dive in with our specialists. I think that we have, from what the numbers say, approximately 3,000 specialists out there, which are also affiliates. And we've been getting our ambassadors geared up properly to move in with our specialists in an intrinsic way through our groups, to get them to the level of being able to understand how even covering ambassador training is not as difficult, as far as premiums is not as difficult as it may seem. And also we have another device coming, like it is here already, like, and I can, even say it's in my hand. And this is revolutionary. Like, the only thing that uh, it works only half as strong as this, costs $2,000, and it's got patent pending stuff on it, and membranes from DuPont. What is it? It's a hydrogen generator. And just I just want to bring things into center about just what we're also doing in this engagement. We're not sitting here saying, "Oh, we're all fawning over each other. That's amazing, great, great, feels good." But we're also in action. We know what we're dealing with in this world, and we know even within the next few months, we're going to need to keep stabilizing the tribe. But if we had enough money to give to everybody in the world, then the world would be over when it comes to money. But that we do have that to also, just like many other companies and many other in entrepreneurial ventures and all that, they all are trying to go at one thing, and not all of them for sure make it. In fact, only a small percentage makes it. So we have to even make it in that, and even do the spiritual thing, which in itself is very, very well, actually the spiritual thing comes first, right? So trying to operate in both of these fields has been a success for us over the 10 years, from us going through this experimentation and really seeing where we can create a new field and a new industry so that we can begin to sustain ourselves. What we came to in conclusion while I'm mentioning all this was, when we were still getting products, for everybody that knows, we do carry products, but we get those products from someone. They are the manufacturers. And so it kind of makes numbers look a certain way. And it was very clear that we needed to have something on our end that we create, that we also even manufacture, that we create and manufacture, that we are able to get at a certain premium. So then we can extend even higher, what we would say is, in this case, commissions to those that are in our network. Commissions to a level where it would cover even more than what one would need on things like rent, or what we would say is a greater than a passive income. And so this is something that I did want to just make sure I got in this conversation. I did have a note about this. It just says Hydrolux and the money machine. The money machine itself, I'm not going to talk about in too much detail, but it is getting really simple out there when we think of technology and the financial markets and the digital currencies and how all that works together. And since numbers are the only real value, meaning people are the only real value, the more people you have in one place, there is a value here that is immense. Being able to tap into that value with each other and create an ecosystem and a structure where we can keep growing together. That was when, if you look at our what we call the creed, and you can find this on secretenergy.com/creed. It has been there for about 3 years now. And the creed is all of this that we're doing right now already stated, because some are a little bit more logical with what they do, and they need to know, so where, if this is what it is, so what is the plan, what steps are involved in the plan. So /creed on Secret Energy gives you those details. And if you look at the creed and you see what we've done now, you've seen that we've rapidly gone through completion of what we projected to do, even ahead of schedule. And so this is great that, again, that all of us get a chance to connect from all around the world, because it also means that as these distribution lines change, we're actually able to get, especially with fulfillment services, there's a lot of stuff in the background. And this is just all entrepreneur stuff, all boring stuff, all economical stuff, international banking stuff. This is all stuff in the background that when you're in the meditations and you're going deep into stuff, this is the last thing that you want to deal with. But when you put yourself up to that challenge, though, you actually realize that, hey, even spirituality is more complicated than this. I can definitely work this and make this happen, file this paperwork, get this kind of licensing, and do this. And then I'm creating something for Tribe where we can distribute from everywhere. And we found issues with, even like, we have a lot of supplements because we work with holistics and the best supplements. But the issue is people put it in their mouth. And the legalities behind something that you put in your mouth are totally different than something that you don't put in your mouth. And when it comes to industry standards and what you need to fulfill to be able to put that in places and to distribute that across the world. And so our devices that we're bringing out now that produce hydrogen are a big solution for that, because you don't need any license to ship beyond a consumer electronics license to ship any kind of product that is a physical product, not something that you're eating, not a food stuff, across all borders, and even to set distribution points in different places. And then, as I said, energetically, because we look at this stuff metaphysically first. Like the physical thing, it's like an uphill battle. Money generally runs away from people. It's about going at it metaphysically and saying, how do we work with real energy and then fill that energy through this space? So I'm looking forward, and now it won't be long-winded here, as I'm looking forward here in a couple months to be infusing even this space more like those that are in this co-creation with another level of fuel, which is not only going to trickle out financially, but it's also going to be inside the body, which is the hydrogen. Like, again, even me personally, I've been able to fix, I started getting this issue where, like, the more energy that's coming out, and I believe our sister Patty had said something about this too. It's like I start getting like dry. It's like a battery almost, where the battery starts getting dry. It's like too much of the spiritual energy is going out. And if I do that like hour after hour after hour, something happens with how well my body is able to absorb what would be like the electrons that actually allow it to be able to recharge and stabilize itself. And so I researched that very deeply. I researched deep into electrolytes and just everything that could be used and what was best. And again, this is where the hydrogen came into play. And then I found out that the machines that are on the market, like there's this $20, $30 machine that's on the market that is actually so disastrous for the body. But this also kind of collapsed what we know about hydrogen, is that it was even a substance that you should be using or putting into your system, because there were only devices out there that were made in, cheap Chinese plants that were using this cheap titanium so they can get the price down. And then when you drink it, you got like little particles of titanium and all sorts of stuff in the water. Definitely can't help you. Also, the concentration levels of the hydrogen itself, based on all of the studies which are already done in Japan, weren't high enough to actually be as effective for the body to actually activate those studies, meaning those weren't the machines that were used in the laboratories when they were testing hydrogen to see its potential for the human body. And so I went and actually personally, once coming across all this material through also Tyler LeBaron, who's another person that's very instrumental in a whole group of scientists in Japan and everybody that have been working with this technology. I found out that there was a machine that was out there, but this machine was like $2,500. So I saved up and I got the machine, and the concentration levels were good enough. And I just said, man, this is something that I really would like to get involved in. And so long story short, I kept pioneering it. I kept projecting it. I had my intentions set straight. And now we're in direct touch with the people who not only produced the devices and produced a new device, and they're giving it to us. I also even got a chance to talk to Tyler LeBaron directly, because he became my liaison to getting that connection. So again, it's an ode to, now remember, if somehow I was doing this for myself, which I've seen in life in my 20s in serial entrepreneurship, it wouldn't pan out. There would be something, either the truck would flip over, or the dude ran off with all the money, or it would be something happening that a foolproof plan would just not work. And then so you would have to increase the amount of times. Like, I got 10 different ventures that I'm going into. 3 of them are going to pan out, but I need 10 in order to get them to pan out, because those 7 are not. Many people live a life like that right now, where it's like, I got to do several different things for one of them to make it, because I almost feel like something is against me and not allowing me to actually to make stuff happen. What that is specifically, because I had to go and hunt that down personally for myself, is when you don't include the will of the entire planet, what some people call God. When you include the will of others, I'm going to do this so we all can go to the nether level. And then be real about that, not be faking like, yes, that's going to be my scheme. No, be real about that. Then all of these other invisible forces will be moving in and moving things around and making sure stuff actually goes through. And so we've done that already, even creating these websites, having the right developer. Like, we used to get robbed most of the time with these developers. They coming in, it's like a shady mechanic. There used to be so many different things that we dealt with, and then we got into a mastery. And then the more people that joined us, they bought more, if you want to say luck, which is really just will, intention. They bought more will and more intention into the co-creation. And then we, in knowing the principles, opened up the outlets and the spouts, because that's the throughput. How much of the power can I really get and can I really receive? That's based on the throughput. That's based on the gauge, if you may, of the wire. So what we've been doing, and that's why we even changed the entire platform, is we opened up the ecosystem, because it has more throughputs. But each part of the ecosystem now has to be worked on. So it is literally saying, once we made that decision, man, you're going to go into 5 times at least, or 4 times as much work as you just went through. Are you in? Like, I'm in. what are those throughputs now? Like right now, we're on the cusp of activating the geolocation. It should happen this week. You've already got notifications on the site that if you log in, it'll ask you if you want to give your location material, or you can go in your profile and you can change where you're at. This is still such an instrumental component for if you have something like an app or you have something like a website and finding out who's right in your area. So now we're going to be serving up suggestions once we bring in this code or complete this code next week. Your suggested people are not going to be based on just their interest. Your suggested people inside the site are based on their location first and then their interest. And then when you link to their profile, because we finally finished our chat, which was like a chat stuff is even bigger than most can think on the technical end, but we finally finished our chat, bottom left corner of the site. Now we integrate our chat in directly with our social media network. So this means once you see someone in your area, you can click on them, then you can save them as a friend, and then also you can communicate with them and say, hey, what's up? I'm actually over here on Barlow Street. Like I'm headed uptown to see you. And that's just, again, saying ecosystem and us keep connecting and doing what we do on all levels. So I just wanted to bring that in because I know some had also, I saw some questions asking about, where Spirit Text was actually at this stage. And I'm just glad, as I always say, and I go to sleep sometime with a smile on my face about this, is that I started this at least 6 years ago. And it took that long. And we worked every single day to get it done. And it's interesting that it's like getting done right now. But imagine if I was trying to start this now because I saw the need that we would need some type of financial stability. And I was trying to I'd go crazy almost because I would feel the responsibility to actually bring at least some type of solution. But I wouldn't just be able to pull that out of nowhere. There would be a lot of other things like what I learned in crypto and what I learned about all this other things in the experience. So what does that all say though? Because I would have to distill that into just a powerful level of awareness. It says that what we're dealing with, which is ourselves, it's got this. It's got this. We shouldn't deny it. This is like something that if it keeps assisting you and you done got to another level, and then every morning you're waking up, you're denying it again. I think this is it. This is the end. You got me all the way out here to let me down. Imagine what kind of relationship that would be to have with self. You have to, for sure, like I say, believe in yourself. No, you need to know self. That is the big thing here. Knowing the self is not believing the self. Now, when you know who you are and what you're doing, you could go forward with the next stage of, okay, now this is what I'm going to be doing next. And that's why we have in this co-creation us connecting together. Lastly, on the specialist training and specialist tribe, we're going to be creating a group. We wanted just genealogy to be a component that group is using. And then I was explained by my counsel, because there are people that I talk to about this and see what they feel about it, that specialist training is still different since it has affiliation. It is still different than genealogy. And so we're going to be launching a specialist training chat just to let everyone in specialist training consistently know about the tools and the materials that are becoming available for you to, even at this point, create an income for yourself. And so let's keep going here. Well, actually, we're at 8:08, so let's do this. So many beautiful beings. Like we could sit here all day, and we will, in infinity, as far as giving thanks and enamoring one another with the respect, the glory, the honor that we also feel reciprocated from those that are here. Such beautiful faces, such beautiful hearts, and also the intentions are into alignment. We're going to come forward with key makers. This is going to be in about, I guess, a little bit over an hour. So if you're also on this line and you actually have something that you feel like that it didn't get clarified, like I didn't get clarity on that, a real question. This means you have actually an hour and 15 minutes to actually think about distilling whatever it is that you still are a little bit unclear on, if that's happening for you, into an actual solid question, to where when you put it in front of beings that will for sure be able to answer it, that you would get in your life what you need to, let's say, move on, if there's something that you feel that's still there that is stuck for you. So we're going to adjourn here today. the space is always open. It's always a place that we can return to. The only thing that we're banishing from this space is the distortions. And I even woke up this morning just banishing distortions. Like, I can't have any distorted kind of things. I don't want to get distorted messages. I don't want distorted people around me right now. I don't want any distortion, because I need to broadcast these frequencies very, very clear. You get it? So you need the distortion in the frequency is like when someone opened their line and got the train going on in the background and all that. It doesn't become that easy for it to hear me, right? So all the distortions that if we're practicing any kind of banishing rituals, banish the distortion out of your reality in this space and time. This is really one of the things that I feel like is coming from on high as a command. Banish the distortions, because you are a high frequency being. Actually, you're full spectrum frequency being, to be very clear. And you can broadcast every single frequency on the wavelength. And you could do all of that. You can be all of that, whatever you want. But you cannot do that in distortion, or with distortion affecting your field too much. So just remember that you are personally responsible, because also if you see distortion externally, that still means there's some work to do within. You can also call upon the allies, which are the sounds, the tones, the vibrations, the smells, the scents. Don't forget, like, you have all these allies, these trees, these resins to hold the space, even when you're not there. Like, sometimes you be leaving the house and you wonder what's going to happen. You know, everybody's still there and you're like, man, should I even leave right now? Light up some sage, you know, light up a coal and some resins, and let that hold the space while you go do what you need to do. Worry not, because you have the solutions, the cures, the salve. And then more importantly, you have your brothers and sisters. So know that we're with you. Wholeness and balance vibrations to everyone. I will let the mics go ahead and be unmuted for us all to come in and do what we do, as far as letting the world know how much we love and care about them.
Listen, positive vibrations, wholeness and balanced vibrations, family.
From India.
Wholeness and balance
For all of you.
How is beautiful?
Bye bye. See you in just a little bit.
On the other side.
wholeness.
Και 1000. Αλλά στο chat το Zoom χωράνε μόνο 300.